Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 486. I am Brendan. UFC, Vegas 107, Blanchfield versus Barber. That fight didn't really happen, but this is going to be the prelims. It's going to be Nascimento versus Filho. The rest of the prelims are going to break those things down, go through all these fights round by round. If you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. You know when the next video is coming out, and I really appreciate it. All right, let's get started. After I flubbed all of that, that's not the first time I recorded that. I don't know what's going on with me today. It's so bad. Jafel Filho taking on Allan Nascimento. Now, here's the thing. Nascimento missed weight by 1.5 pounds, which is fucking bananas, right? Pure bananas to me. But if you look at this year, I figured, okay, up until this point, we had 2 people out of 11. 2 out of 11 that have missed weight and won, and they won by finish. So I was like, let's see how this goes, but I see him getting tired, maybe Filho, especially after that first round. I'm like, Filio's going to just whoop this guy's ass, and then we're just going to notch another one up, but that is not what we got. Also, if you didn't watch the prelims and you're watching this video, go watch this fight if you are a fan of grappling at all. This was very fun grappling to watch. It was relatively entertaining. There's a lot of intricacies, a lot of stuff going on. It wasn't just lay and pray. There was a lot of good defense, a lot of good offense, positional awareness, trying to beat the person to the next position. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun to watch. And we'll talk about a little bit of commentary bullshit as we get to it. But Nascimento with the hard low kicks and backing up as Filio's really trying to get in tight and get the takedown. Filho landing the right hand, forcing him to the cage, keeping him in the clinch. A lot of great clinch work, a lot of Greco stand-up from these guys trying to do the throws, the whizzer kick, if you want to call it the Uchimata, whatever. I think the other one's called the Horogoshi. Or the Arata. I don't know. I don't know all my Japanese for all this stuff. One of them's with the leg in between the two, and the other one's across both legs and then throwing them over there. So hip tossing. Anyways, a lot of really fun stand-up work. Nascimento did a really good job of getting, of keeping his feet, but then Filho just this pressure and constantly trying to get him down and finally drags him down, gets into mountain. Nascimento does a great job of creating space, getting back up, but Filho forces it back to the ground again, taking the back, and with 15 seconds left, Filho going with the one-arm mounted guillotine, gets it in tight, but Nascimento fights it off. Fantastic round, fun to watch. Clearly Filio's 10-9. Second round here. Filho getting him to the ground. Not a lot of striking. 11-4 in favor of Filho. Whatever. Second round. Okay. This is where not controversy, but a little bit of annoyance I had with the commentary team starts. So in the second round, Filho getting him to the ground and then back up, going for the back, but gets too aggressive, falls off the back, finally allowing Nascimento to get on top and get control. And he was able to control him for the rest of this round, having 3 minutes and 35 seconds of control time. Have outstruck him 6-1 as well. But the point here is that it was just control versus control. Nobody was doing damage. But there was some murmuring going on here, right? Dean Thomas, the correspondent, the fight analysts that they go to sometimes. Obviously, he's a coach, and I know about him, but I couldn't think of exactly what they call him. He's not cage side commentary. As well as the cage side commentary, started to talk about how Nascimento didn't do anything, and he wasn't looking to land damage or go for submissions. He was just looking to control him. Right. But that's all they said. They're like, oh, he's just looking to get control. Right. Remember that. He won this round, 19-19, going into the third round here. Filho getting to the back again, and this time maintaining it with the twister hook for a little bit, but ends up falling off. Nascimento forces him off the back, gets on top, and let's see if he could hold it for the rest of the round, which he did, right? 3 minutes and 24 seconds of control time for Nascimento. Beautiful stuff. In control the entire time. Now, here's where the murmurings started to come back up. The commentary team was saying, oh, it'll be interesting to see how this was scored. No, it won't. Why would it be interesting? Nascimento dominated the second and third round. Oh, well, he wasn't trying to do any damage. Okay. Filho didn't do any damage either. All right, so it just comes down to control versus control. Who had more of it? Nascimento. Well, look at the striking numbers. Dead even. 2 to 2. How many did they throw? 6. Okay. So if all of that is even, Do you think anybody did more damage? No. Oh, here's the other one. Yeah. One to the head and one to the body for both of these gentlemen. Okay, now total strikes, that's in favor of Nascimento, 7-5. But let's say you're a discerning viewer and you think that only significant strikes matter. Okay, fine. Cool. So they're tied. Everything's a tie except for control time. So how do you give this to Filho? You don't. So why is the commentary team talking like that? I couldn't tell you either. I thought that was stupid. Where is the... Oh my goodness. Where are the scorecards for this? Unreal. Anyway, all three judges saw it the same way. It was 29-28 in favor of Nascimento. No controversy from my side, but like I said, that little bit of doubt that they threw in that second round and then the third round reiterating it, kind of bullshit from the commentary team. Uncool. Yeah, trying to demean or diminish. Now, that being said, Nascimento did cheat. He fucking missed weight. So, I'm not going to sit here and heap praise on the guy for sanctioned cheating. That being said, though, we're not going to sit here and diminish or try to diminish what he's doing as to say that Filho did more damage or did more stuff. They were doing the same shit. Nascimento just got the better of it. It is what it is. All right. Kurt Holobaugh taking on Jordan Leavitt. I thought I was really hoping for a more fun fight. It ended swift. I have no problems with that. Leavitt getting to the ground, getting on top along the fence, and then gets a really tight anaconda choke and puts him to sleep. So I have no problems with that. Like, that's just, like I said with the last fight, it is what it is. It's just, I was hoping for a little bit more excitement. I wanted to see some more striking from the two. I'm a fan of Holobaugh's his pressure and cardio and the way he breaks people a little bit, and Jordan Leavitt's very exciting. And I just wanted to see that take place a little bit more, but that's me being selfish as a consumer. Obviously, Leavitt went out there and dominated him, got the finish real quick, so it is what it is. Bolaji Oki versus Michael Aswell. Now, this one is interesting. We'll look at it. The striking numbers, these bars are deceptive again. It looks like for example, you're like, oh, red is Oki. You're like, oh, he clearly landed more because his bar, he has more bar. It's more. No, that's just a percentage. So he landed 44% and Aswell landed 41%, but the absolute numbers are 52-46 in favor of Aswell. So that being said, this fight, Aswell stepping up on short notice, getting the call, I think on Tuesday. So like 4 days notice he has to prep for this fight. We'll talk about that as it goes along, because I thought he made a really good account for himself. So both guys loading up with the right hands, and Oki doing a decent job jabbing, going to the body, throwing kicks, using his range to keep Aswell outside where he can't be hit. Then Oki landing really good with that hard left hand to the body and then the right hand over the top, but Aswell is just eating them and trying to counter. So after a while, it seemed like Oki is used to getting people out of there with one of those good shots. He lands one, he feels how smooth it lands, and then they're done. But Aswell wouldn't go away, so Oki had to make some adjustments, and we saw that in the second round, which is interesting. But Aswell, landing more down the stretch, and Oki slowing down his output, and he's not keeping the range as well as he did early in this first round. So huge left hand and a forearm, and what? A huge left and right hand for Aswell is what I wanted to say there to end the round. He might have taken it. Now, he got outstruck 36-24, but he did shake Oki. I didn't give this round to Aswell. I think if he had extended that combination, started a little bit earlier and, landed a little bit more damage at the end there, maybe Aswell had a better argument, but I had 10-9 for Oki. Second round, Oki starting the round well again, just like he did in the first round with those long strikes, applying pressure more this time, not backing up, just like he did in the first round. Aswell countering the low kicks with the jab over the top with that right hand, landing clean. Oki thinks he's got him hurt, and he's applying a ton of pressure, trying to land big. I thought he was going to gas himself out. He didn't. Oki picked up the output and got out in front in this round. Clear win for him. Striking numbers 54-42 in favor of Oki. Aswell is not a chump, right? He stayed in there, he stayed in tight, and clearly was outsized. 2018 going into the third round. Oki keeping his high output. The pressure is not allowing Aswell to get in front. But then and here's the thing, like as the round went on, Aswell was, keeping up, and then Oki would get on front. But Aswell apparently outlanded him 52-46. I still had this last round for Oki. It felt like he did more damage. Here's what I want to say. If Aswell was able to game plan for this guy, or they fought at the right weight class, like a down a weight class, or he fought a down a weight class, I think this would be a different story. Now, this isn't to say Oki would be fighting at a lower weight class. This guy's a huge dude for lightweight. So obviously he's not making 145. The point is that to say is like Michael Aswell stepping up on short notice in a weight class he's probably not going to fight in. Looked really good. I think that, going forward, I'm interested to see how he performs. Scorecards. Mike Bell, Ron McCarthy, and Brian Minner gave that first round to Aswell. All right, that's fair. I didn't see it that way. I didn't think he landed enough in that last little sequence to swing it back his direction, but apparently they did. I didn't. I had it 30-27. Okay, and then how the night started in the prelims with a really fun fight. All right. Rayanne dos Santos versus Elise Ardelean. The way it starts, I wrote down, good God, Dos Santos is landing hard hooks and combos, and Ardelean is just staying in, sits in tight with her head straight up in the fucking air. She's just getting cracked. Ardelean is not doing a good job keeping strikes out there or controlling any position. And then Dos Santos starts missing more. She's not throwing as much. It looks like Ardelean's chin has allowed her to stay in the fight, and Dos Santos is getting tired. And now she's the one, Ardelean's throwing back hard straight shots, and Ardelean lands some hard shots down the stretch, and it looks like she took this round back. She outstruck her 26-23. I thought she made a big comeback in this round. Fun to watch, lots of action. 10-9 for Ardelean. Second round. Dos Santos is landing again, but Ardelean just stays in the pocket, lands back. She's really giving Dos Santos issues with her pressure. Dos Santos is looking for a little bit of a break after she throws big shots, but she isn't getting one. Ardelean continuing what she started halfway through that first round, easily winning this round. 45-21 for striking numbers in favor of Ardelean, 20-18. In this last round, she just poured it on even more. Dos Santos started this round very well, like she did in the previous two, but then, can she keep this up? If she could keep this up and land some of those hard hooks, she might be able to get a finish, but I just didn't think she had the cardio. She didn't. Ardelean using the jab as Dos Santos walks in and then leaning away to avoid the hook and then countering, right? So now she's still staying in the pocket, but the shots aren't coming back fast enough, so she's able to lean back and avoid some of those shots coming at her, and then comes back with the counter, kind of like a pull counter. Not quite as clean at that, but that's kind of what she was doing. Both women look pretty beat up, but Dos Santos was wearing it way worse. 83 significant strikes for Ardelean to 34 from Dos Santos. Clearly her round. I had it 30-27. Okay. All right. We're going to talk about this just for a second here. Bear with me. If you guys want to take off, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to talk about this scorecard, because there's some interesting things I just saw. I haven't seen any scorecards still right now, and one of them makes sense. Mike Bell, thank you. That makes sense. Eric Colon, full of shit. Saul D'Amato, I'm gonna drag him because this is fucking bad. Anyway, appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you did like this, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, the next video is coming out. I really appreciate it. Okay. All right, video's not over. I want to talk about this. I just want to say thank you to everybody who came here, but let's dig into this real quick. So Mike Bell seeing all three rounds for Elise Ardelean, understandable, right? If you were going to give anybody, or if you're going to give any round to Dos Santos, it should be the first one. He didn't. That's fine. Eric Colon, first round to Ardelean. Understandable. That's how I scored it. That's how I saw it. Now, looking at this second round, he gave it to Dos Santos. How the fuck do you see that? Okay, here's the problem. I talk about this all the time. It's about consistency. And again, consistency from fight to fight is important. Consistency from week to week is important. Year to year, like all these things, right? But consistency from round to round should be the bare minimum that we are looking for. The bare minimum that we expect. Obviously, I would want consistency across all the fights on a card, all the cards through a month, all the months through the year, right? I would love to see that, and I think that is also very important. But the bare minimum that we should be expecting from our judges that are paid through fucking tax dollars, right? Obviously, this took place in Vegas, so it's not my taxes. And actually, I don't know. Well, there's no property tax, but they still have taxes in Vegas. I wonder how they get paid. Through what part? Anyway, they work for the fucking government. So, Rayanne dos Santos had her best round in round 1. The second round, she landed some good shots. Let's look at stats. I've already explained this, but let's look at some stats. She landed less strikes, 21, okay, as opposed to the 23 she landed in the first round. And she got hit more, right? There was a 3-strike differential in the first round that favored Ardelean. In the second round, it was a 24-strike differential. How on God's green earth do you think that Ardelean, with that squeak-by win in that first round, lost the second round, or vice versa? How do you think Dos Santos, who landed less shots and got hit more in the second round, won the second one but lost the first one? If Eric Colon gave that first round to Dos Santos and the second one, I at least could understand his logic. This makes no fucking sense. This makes none. 0 sense. 0. It's so fucking frustrating to see this shit. And it's the first fight on the card, and the right person won. I say this all the time. No one's going to talk about this fucking scorecard. No one's going to talk about this shit. Go anywhere right now. Go anywhere and find anybody talking about this shit right now. You're not going to, because it doesn't matter to everybody else. Well, it matters to these two fucking fighters, right? Especially to the winner. Like this kind of thing, like what is she supposed to expect, right? If you go back and look at this and she looks at her performance and she says that, like, oh, the judges thought I lost, like one of the judges thought I lost round 2. What am I going to do for the next round? So if you see Eric Colon is judging one of your fights, like, it's complete fucking chaos. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to lean towards? How am I supposed to get a win here, right? What am I to expect? And anyway, all right, so Eric Colon at least gets the last round correct. Now, I just went in and I said I dragged them, I said I was going to drag Saul D'Amato because his card is the fucking worst here. But he's been putting together decent cards, and like if he was on any of these other scorecards, you know, there was a lot of finishes, so maybe he got lucky. Maybe he's having a bad night. This was the first fight of the night, so you know, I've seen Saul D'Amato has been dragged through the media, you know, the MMA media for a long time. Like I said, recently, I think his scorecards have been getting a lot better. This one is not one of those. First 2 rounds, he gives to Ardelean. Cool. We have no problem. I agree with that. How the fuck do you think Dos Santos won this third round? I would love to hear your explanation. What shots do you think that she landed in this third round that she didn't land in the first 2? Because I would argue that her best shots she landed were in the first round, landing the hardest shots. I think that she could have won that first round. But she landed 11 more shots in this round. Okay. So technically she might have landed more cumulative damage. And she did land some good shots in this third round. But she got outstruck by 49 strikes. 83 to 30 fucking 4. Dude, that's not even close. And here's again what I was saying, right? If you want to make the argument that Dos Santos won this round, which is a crazy fucking argument to have, but let's say you want to make that argument. Why would you think that she lost the previous 2? You thought that what Ardelean did in the first 2 rounds was good enough to win, but when she dominates the third fucking round, you're like, wow, I don't know about this one. This one looks like it was Dos Santos. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. All right. I'm done ranting. Covered the scorecards. I did not expect that. I heard 29-28, and I figured, like, they must have gave Dos Santos that first round. Nobody did. Always a great surprise when you're going to look at these scorecards. So like I said before, if you like this kind of thing, subscribe to the channel. That way the next video is coming out. If you made it to the end, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about the fight. Do you guys give a shit about these first fights on the cards? Do you think I'm being overly dramatic? Because I don't think I am. I think that the least we can expect from our paid professionals when it comes to judging is consistency across, logical consistency across the same fight. I think that's bare minimum. So Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Peace. Love y'all.